Hey, welcome to a new series we're doing on the Book of Numbers. We're going to go through maybe 50 little studies going through the Book of Numbers, and we're launching book by book Numbers, the study guide and the DVD, or you can stream it. And our guest when we did that was KP Yohanan, the Metropolitan of Believers Eastern Church. So as part of our launch of Numbers, I'm going to be doing just looking at little snapshots through the Book of Numbers, a little bit at a time, working the way through. It's a book I've really enjoyed over the years, and KP Yohanan used to read it every few months. I don't know if he still does that, but I remember the first time I met him, that's what he did. And the reason he does that is because he plants a lot of churches and is obsessed with church life and coping with all the challenges of church life and how to disciple people, care for people, get everybody focused on following Jesus. And that is what the Book of Numbers is all about. It's even called Numbers because it's numbering the church membership in that ancient church, that people were numbered, named, counted. It's about church membership. That's the name of the book, really. And the book begins with this issue of compiling church membership list for the ancient church. And it begins by saying, in the tabernacle of meeting on the first day of the second month in the second year after they had come out of the land of Egypt. So you think that's the first thing to occur in the Book of Numbers, but it's an interesting little detail right at the beginning of our study of the Book of Numbers, that if you turn to chapter 9 and verse 1, where they celebrate a Passover, that is in the first month of the second year. So the Book of Numbers begins in the second month of the second year, but it turns out there's already an event that happens a month earlier, but it's only recorded in Numbers chapter 9 in the first month of the second year. So that's an odd thing that they tell you about something. It begins with an event that happens in the second month of the second year, and then later you discover there's already something that's happened a month before in the first month of the second year, the Passover celebration. And that immediately makes you puzzle, like, why tell us about the second event first of all? And it right away makes us realize that this business of numbering the church membership, who belonged to this ancient church, how were they organized, what was going on in this body of church, and there were these different kind of sections of the church. The whole church was structured in a way where there was the central thing, and then the 12 tribes that had church leaders, and then clans under that, and families, and there was this deep structure to the ancient church. And that's the first thing that we're confronted with, is church government and structure, not the Passover celebration that had happened a month before. And that immediately makes us think that the structure and organization of church is amazingly important, particularly for a modern world. It was definitely in that ancient world. Obviously it was important. That's why the book's structured as it is. But I suppose in our day we're very aware of that, because people don't feel they don't belong. People just think of themselves as isolated individuals. I do whatever I want to do. Even with religion or spirituality or things, they will think, oh well, you know, I decide what works for me. What do I believe in? And things like that, are very isolated. And sometimes I even meet people who say, well, I'm a Christian, but I don't really go to church, or I sometimes go to this church, sometimes go to that church, but sometimes we like to get away at the weekend and do our own thing, or whatever. People, as if church is like a personal choice or a hobby. But right at the Book of Numbers, there's this sense of people being numbered and belonging to this body that is the ancient church, and being part of a church structure. So that's the first thing we're going to meditate on our first day of study in the Book of Numbers, is this idea of church. How is it organized? Where do we belong? How important is it to us? Are we numbered with the saints of God? Do we find our place in this incredible local family of people? That's our first meditation in the book of Numbers.